Hi, glad you're back. This is Liz, Atomic Seller, Vintage Slinger, except I'm not slinging vintage again today. I thought it would be fun to do a village tour because my Halloween display is complete, and before I take it down next week, and I thought I would take on a tour. And before that, I will introduce you to my new family members. This is Bailey. She's 6 months old. If she'll just look at me, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. There she is. And here is her sister. This is Bourbon. Hi. So we just adopted them last week, and let me tell you, Bourbon doesn't seem to bother the villages at all, but Bailey, little black kitten, has redecorated a few times. We call it like cat earthquake, cat quake. So no damage. She just kind of thinks it's for her, and she knocks things onto the floor, little gates and pumpkins, little plastic pumpkins and stuff. So no harm, no foul. Enough of that. Enough of the introductions. I'm going to take you on a tour. So the whole point here is I'm going to try and I will give you the model names of the buildings, kind of tell you where I got stuff from. I wanted to, and if they have any sound effects, I'll play those for you too. So this first one, I've got them all written down because with my memory, is not the best anymore. Okay, and I have a little friend here, the little culprit. Yes, she's here. Hopefully will behave. Okay, I'm going to start off with this one. This one is Department 56. Most of my stuff is Department 56. This is pretty cute. I couldn't resist. This is a slippery little devil, and I don't know why they call that because should have been slippery little skeleton, but that must have hurt. Couldn't resist. And then this one up here, right there, this is Department 56. And this is Hocus Pocus Helga's House of Fortunes. Let me just play that for you.
Fortune smiles upon you today. Do what you like. There will be no repercussions.
So what I did when I made my villages is I tried to tell a story. A lot of this I created myself. Now the platforms, however, there's 3 of them, these grassy platforms. There's a large one and 2 small ones. I did not create those. Okay, those came from Limax, and I got them for a great deal at Michael's. Okay, but I did, and these little rocks, those are also from Michael's. I have them scattered throughout. Now, the trees, so the trees are Department 56 or Limax. You probably recognize them. And let's see, back here from Disneyland, of course, this is Madame Leota, which I absolutely love. And so I put it in the yard. I thought the theme matched up real well. And then up here, that's also Department 56. And everything you're seeing, unless I say otherwise, it's Department 56. And let's see, I like this. I have tattoos, so I really got a kick out of those. Let me see if I can focus. Showing off their tattoos. And then, of course, lo and behold, he's not paying attention, but doesn't look like a good ending for him. The roads are also Department 56. Now, the manhole covers. So there's one here, and let me find the grate down there, the sewer grate. And there is manhole cover, and there's the last one, and the grate. Okay, so those were all made by Mini Creations Studio and in Etsy, and he does amazing work. And I'm going to show you some more stuff in the cemetery that he also made. Let me back up. This is La Ghosty, a movie theater. Okay, before I play the sound, these lights are Limax. kind of got at the end of the season. I don't think you can see there, but they got little skeletons on them. I'm going to play the sound for the theater. I don't do scary movies. Okay, I'll turn that off. And the road in there, I made that. Now, I made that out of like poster, like the poster board, and just painted it. And I just used a tip of a ballpoint pen and carved those. So that's how I did that. Get down, kitty, kitty. See, look, here. This is what I'm dealing with. No, you're not getting up there. Oh my God. Okay. And then, of course, these right here, I carved those out of EPS foam, and then I just glued it together. I thought it looked better. Okay, that is a Lemax figurine. I tend to like the Lemax ones. They just seem like they're more proportional. At least she's being good right now. Dennis the Menace. Okay, let's move down. And again, those are also Lemax. Like I said, I like the proportion of them. And sometimes the porcelain ones that Department 56 makes can be very big. And but I do like the other ones that Department 56 that aren't porcelain. I think the detail on them is really amazing. So we're going to go back here, and this is right here. That's all one. And this is Department 56, the haunted front yard. I really like it. It's got a lot of detail in there. It's got a few tombstones back there. This one there is Department 56, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It might be Lemax. I think they're Department 56. Here, these are from Michael's, and this is Department 56. It came with the pumpkins and the bats and a bunch of other fun stuff. Those are all just separate little bones, and I just parked them there and then buried them, partially buried them. Okay, so we're going down now to the cemetery, and the cemetery started off really small and then just kind of grew. So let's start with the fence. I did this fence, and I got the tutorial off Kelly Does Stuff. She's on YouTube, and also Halloween Village by Carl. And then I kind of combined the two and did my own thing. So this part here, the metal part, I got from Michael's. In fact, everything I got from Michael's, I think. And then these are just dowels that I painted. Now, I know that Kelly Does Crafts suggested Hot Going, and Halloween Villages by Carl suggested soldering. I didn't have soldering, but I had wire, 26 gauge wire, so that's exactly what I used. Yay, good to be a crafter and make jewelry. So I have some of that stuff. Back here, I have Department 56. This first one is the 2014 Rest in Peace Crypt. So a little history on this. Let me back up a little bit. So a little history on this is that Department 56 started in 2016 doing Rest in Peace crypts. And they did one every year, a new one. And then the last one was in 2023. And that was kind of a bummer. And now they're really hard to find, and you can end up paying a lot. I really lucked out on this one, the 2014 and the 2013. I happened to be, I live in Southern California. We went to Long Beach Antique Market, and I turn the corner and I see these just sitting there in somebody's little booth, and I nabbed them. I ended up getting that and this little haunted hedge there for $90. So man, do I know I was lucky. Okay, because they go for a lot more than that. Back there in the middle that monument there, and this lady statue right here, and many of these tombstones, gorgeous, were all again made by Perry at Mini Creation Studio Etsy, and they are really nice. And in addition to this crypt, the lighting that I put in here, that's of course the purple lights from Limax, and it comes in a pack of 2. And I made the pathway again. That's the poster board, and that's EPS. Little stairs are, and that is poster board. It was a pinch, and it works. And then the fence. So the fence was a nice black fence when I got my hands on it. Limax, and I decided that looks way too nice for a cemetery, for an old cemetery. So I mucked it up and painted it with brown and some orange, and then I hot glued some of the stuff to it, and then I gave it a little bit of patina. I think it turned out really good. So this sign is so cool. I got this from Etsy shop, and the name of the shop is Green Gypsies, and it's really neat. I mean, it's paper, but it's thick. I don't know how she did that, but it looks really great. I love it. Okay, and I think that does it. Of course, this last one there, that is Welcome to the Boneyard. That is also Department 56, as are the street signs. And that does it for this part. We're going to go the other. I'm going to go across the room. It has now taken over my entire living room. Okay, over here, this is kind of my space alien and Bigfoot area. Like I said, I like it to tell a story instead of just plopping a bunch of buildings down. I like little scenarios. So this first one I got, which I really, really like. And like I said, most of my stuff is Department 56, and I do prefer them. But, you know, Limax, if I find a good deal and I really like it, I do like this one. This one is called the Limax Air and Space Novelties Hangar Museum, and it's really awesome. And doesn't make sound. Of course. Oops, you can see a cord back there. My bad. Okay, I'm going to play the sound.
No need to discuss. Slimy and green with a death ray gun. We just heard that the Air and Space Novelties Hangar Museum has been overrun.
We must signal the others before these humans capture me.
Okay. And look at the little spaceships up there. It's pretty cool. So this was carved. No, a kitty. Oh my God. Wait a second. Hold on. Kitty timeout. All right. So the platform was carved out of EPS foam. And then this is like the anti-slip tread that I cut to fit, and so just so there's continuity there. I didn't really go hog wild because it's supposed to be like a parking lot type of situation. There's more lights there, and then this tree I made, and I just got this from cuttings, you know, just like the fake foliage at Michael's, and broke it apart. I wrapped it here with covered wire wrap, and I cut some foam out, and then I weighted it down with some rocks. So there is one good hint for you, and then they don't fall over, which is really nice. Where did I get the rocks? From my yard. That's where I got them. Okay, over here, right next here, hang on, kitty timeout. All of a sudden I got all this stuff on, and she thinks she needs to be right in the middle of everything. Okay, so in the back here, that is again another one that I found. Department 56, 2021, Rest in Peace Crypt. And it's pretty cool. Lots of really good display. Detail is amazing on these. And then these little guys are from Limax. And then, let's see, what else did I want to show you over here? Kitty, look what I'm dealing with here. Nope. Okay. I'm going to go put little Dennis the Menace in my room. Hold on. No. Really? Okay, going in the room. See? Sister is totally good. She's just chilling on the couch. Your sister's in timeout, okay? All right. I hear her there crying. Now I feel bad. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll finish up here quickly so I can rescue her. Okay, so we did the rest in peace crypto, and this one I had to have since I had this, and I have this. I needed this. This is the utterly unbelievable. Check that out. I love it. And of course, we got a Sasquatch crossing. We got a Sasquatch back there. We got these little guys. And we're going to move on. This is the Dead End Motel. I always like to say it's my favorite piece. I've got a lot of favorite pieces. But this is one of my bigger first initial pieces that I bought at Department 56. This Dead End Motel, really like the red. So it did come with a white incandescent, and the nice guy that I bought this from on eBay had replaced it with a red flickering, which I think is much more appropriate. And again, carved this on that purple fence is again Department 56. And all of these that you see were carved, the foundations. And again, that's another homemade tree with a big fat. If you're going to make your trees, then that's the only way to go. Otherwise, you're going to paint arm and leg. Make sure that the bottom parts where the little foundations you put them in are very thick. And then you can weight them down with rocks. So moving on here, let's see, where am I? These are the spooky trash cans, which I think are kind of funny and cute. And then I put some of these guys. These are Department 56 little skeleton lights. I just hung them from tree to tree. And they scooch over. This is Department 56 there. Motorcycle in the front yard. Back there, there is a rake and some leaves back there. And then next door to the yard, this is the Fearful Fashions Clothiers, and this is a Limax building. And let's see what else. And there's like a pumpkin patch next door. Now, the corn stalks, I got those off of eBay. And if you just type in miniature corn stalks, you'll find them. And they're mainly for like people that have train sets, train building. But they worked out really well. And then back in the back that you see on the fence, those are fence posters. I don't know what else to call them. And I got those too. They're size 1 to 12. And from Etsy, the name of the shop is Tiny Crafts Haven. And then all those little pumpkins, kind of a mix of Department 56, and then I got some that are Limax, and I think. And then there's a few there, one that's knocked over. You know, wonder who was up here. 3 guesses. So some of them are from Michael's. And again, this one, the pumpkins for sale, that is a Limax item. So is the Spooky Town billboard and the little moon up there, which is really cool at night. Okay, next door to that is one of my bigger pieces that I bought this year. Really love it. And this is the Haunted Fun House. This little guy turns around. Lots of great detail. Okay, I have to get over here in the corner and put in these steps. Just carved them out. And didn't show that either. So over here, this is a haunted well, which I think is really neat. And very spooky with like the stuff in there. And then I made this little sign, Frankentower. And again, I made that out of EPS foam and just carved it, painted it. And up there is a Frankenstein water tower, which I really like, Department 56. Okay, so going to my newer ones. This is the Haunted Barn gift set. So a little story about this one. It came with the red light inside, which I think is totally awesome. And you can hear it. Which I'm not going to turn it up because my cat that's still in here does not like it. It's a screaming cat and she'll flip out, so I'm not going to do that to her. But it came with the scarecrow and the spooky glitter tree and the house, the barn. I added these little guys there. So I bought this from a seller, from somebody in one of my groups. I think on Facebook. Anyway, when it arrived, no, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't get it there. I got it. There is an antique shop here in town that one of the people there has a whole booth full of Department 56. So if you're in the Orange County area, just drop me a comment and I'll fill you in and tell you where they're at. Okay, so anyway, I came home with this. I opened up the box and there was still the receipt. It was never opened. Everything was sealed in plastic, had never been opened. And get this, on the receipt, it said it was from Macy's, 2001. Can you believe that? And I'm sure you're dying to know how much it cost. There was a few items on there, but it looks like it was right around $52 for the entire thing. And now it's mine, and it's finally let out of the box, and it's being used for what it was intended to use. And then there's the box. I just sat on top of the box. It's so late in the season. It was like, do I really want to, create a whole new thing? And it's coming down next weekend, and Christmas is going up. So I thought, it's going to sit on the box right now. Maybe lazy. I don't know. Call me lazy. Okay, so the bristle trees I bought from, am I allowed to say Kick-Ass Glass from the Past? Well, I just did. You can find her, April. She is on Instagram. I bought some sisal trees from her back here in the corner. Let me back up. There's a good view. Okay. So this is Department 56, Travis Louis, and Walter and Larry Krept. And looking closer, I didn't realize that Larry was a dog. That's kind of sad. But that is amazing. Wait a minute. Yep. Isn't that great? Great imaginations. And these spooky trees, of course, Department 56. There's another Sasquatch because you can't have just one. And then these little pumpkins, my coworker friend where I work made those and sent them to me. Aren't they adorable? And then this last one over there in the corner, and yes, it makes a lot of noise, is Castle Blackstone, a pretty new addition. Let me move this so you can see it without disrupting like everything. And again, you can see this. I made this. This was kind of a last minute thing just to fill up the space, and I made it out of the poster board, which is always a good option if you don't have access. And at the time that I made this, I was just out of EPS and I really wanted to get it done. So, and I knew it was just for a week. Next year I will make a real one. But this one is really neat, and it's got like the lights on top. Pretty cool. I really like it. And that concludes my tour. I hope you enjoyed it. And oh, this, of course, they are from Limax. So that concludes my tour. Thank you so much. And if you think this is something, you ain't seen nothing yet. Christmas is probably 4 times the size. Let me just give you a preview of what is starting to occupy the corner of my room. So here we go. These are some of the buildings. I got some of the boxes out. I'm gonna be ready to go. So I do the North Pole series, obviously, and Snow Village. So I kind of keep it at that. I do have some Thomas Kincaid buildings. So I'm starting to, now majority of my buildings, they're not here. They are in my closet, my big old walk-in closet. I'm not bringing those out till next weekend. Thank you for joining me. Let me flip the camera. Hi, thank you for joining me and my tour. I really do appreciate it. I do appreciate any likes, so please like and subscribe, and please leave comments below if you want to know where I found stuff, how I sourced stuff, how I made stuff. Yeah, drop me a comment. I reply to all the comments. It may take me a little bit of time sometimes, but I do reply. Also, for Christmas, which is starting next weekend, like November 1st, all this comes down and Christmas start to go up. I will do a lot of how-tos, like how I carve and paint and all the different things I'm going to do. The last time I had my Christmas village all the way up was 3 years ago. Long story. Anyway, fortunately, I took some videos, and you can find them if you just scroll down to Christmas tour. I'm really glad I did, so I can kind of remember where I put stuff. But I have some new buildings since then, so I know that there will be some using my brain and moving stuff around. So that'll be fun, and I'll just kind of document it all so you can kind of see the thought process, and hopefully I can pass some knowledge along. If you are not following Kelly Does Stuff and Halloween Villages by Carl, please look them up on YouTube. They're both excellent channels. Thank you so much, and have a good evening, and see you next time on the flip side. Bye.